Have you ever wondered what a dietitian eats? Well, today I'm going to show you. So today I'm going to be showing you what I eat in a day, and I've never done a video like this before. I have done ones in the past where I show like dinners from like the past week or two and go through them and show you what I'm eating for dinner, but I've never done a full day from start to finish with breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and everything else included. So let's get into it, and then I will meet you back here at the end.
Okay, so we are starting off with breakfast, obviously. And I always start my day off with water first thing because I'm always super thirsty when I wake up, and I like to use mason jars because they're cute and they hold a lot of water. And I've been really loving doing citrus in my water here lately, oranges, grapefruit, whatever. So I'm slicing up an orange here. And side note, this cutting board, I actually got it for free, like with yogurt lid points, and it's small, so it's really nice for little things like this. And then I like to take the butt end of my orange, squeeze the juice in there, and then I just go ahead and add in all the other little orange slices, put them in, let them join the party, and then I add the water. And I know this is like groundbreaking, right? You had no idea how this worked. But yeah, so water's going in, orange slices floating around, and I think they look pretty cute in there, floating on top, and they're yummy. So for the actual food part of my breakfast, on this day I did yogurt. So I've got a yogurt that's from 100% grass-fed cows. It's plain yogurt, and it's also cream line yogurt. So what that means is that the yogurt isn't homogenized. So when you open it up, the fat is floating on the top. So this isn't a big deal though, because all you have to do, get in there with a spoon, you just go in and mix it up and reincorporate the fat in with the rest of the yogurt. Super simple. So then I like to measure my yogurt, so I'm measuring out a cup of yogurt with my measuring cup here. And then once it's all measured out, I put it in my bowl. And I do fruit in my yogurt, but you know, I use all different kinds, and today I decided to use a pomegranate because pomegranates are one of my favorite foods this time of year. They're super yummy. Now, to open my pomegranate, I like to cut off the top end first, and then I just go ahead and spin that guy around, and I cut off the bottom end as well, and then it flies off the cutting board, and that's okay. Now, there are lots of ways to open pomegranates. I'm not sure there's a right way, but I like to score mine. So you're just making little cuts all around the pomegranate, and you want them to be about the same distance apart. And if you can, you want to try to make the cuts right where the ribs are. And you can usually feel them. They're a little extra bumpy, and that's where the sections of the pomegranate come together. So that way when you open it, it opens right at those natural spots. So once you've got your cuts, then you can go ahead and get in there and break it open, and it usually breaks up nicely into 2 pieces. But now you've got all those seeds in there, and you got to get them out. Now, I normally just do this with my hands. I know some people like a spoon method where you like hit it. I will say I usually am not quite this gentle, but I wanted you to be able to see for the video what I was actually doing. And then once you get all of the seeds out, you have this bowl full of pomegranate seeds. Now, when I actually go ahead and put this in the yogurt, I use about half of the pomegranate. If it's a smaller pomegranate, I might use like 3/4 or even the whole thing, but for a giant one like this, half is all I need, and that one little guy fell out. So we'll get him in there, and there it is. It's super pretty, and it tastes great. Now, on this day, I was craving like a mid-morning hot beverage, so I decided to make coffee, and I use the Keurig, but I use a reusable K-cup. So you take out that one little piece, and then you can use this reusable thing, which is pretty cool. Now, I like the reusable because, one, you get to pick exactly what coffee you want. You're not limited to what you can find in the K-cups. 2, you aren't spending as much money because K-cups are pretty expensive. And then 3, we all know the K-cups are pretty wasteful, and, you know, that's a whole nother topic. And with these reusable ones, you know, you can make it whatever size you want, put in whatever amount. I fill mine up to the top, then you put the basket in there, twist on the lid, and then once that's done, you can just go ahead and pop it it in your Keurig just like normal. And then you put in your mug, of course, bonus points for cute mugs. And I'm selecting the largest brew setting here on my Keurig because I want a large cup of coffee. And then it just brews like normal. Super easy and super yummy. So then once it's done, you have to do your add-ins, obviously, if you like that kind of thing. I like maple syrup as the sweetener in my coffee, and I just keep it in the fridge in this little jar for that exact purpose. And all I do is pour some into the spoon. I use about that much for a cup of coffee this size. Get it in there, and then I go ahead and I stir it around a little bit, just get it all evenly mixed in. Now, I like to use whole milk from grass-fed cows in my coffee. So then I go ahead and pour that in there just to add in the whole creaminess factor that milk gives. And then after that, it's time for lunch. Now, I normally do leftovers for lunch, and this day I had leftover tacos. So I've got some homemade tortillas, some pulled pork that I made. Super good, by the way. Pulled pork on tacos, delicious. You should totally try it. And I actually didn't heat up quite enough pork, so I had to get a little bit more and get it on there on the little tacos. So good. I can't tell you how good it is. So good. And then once I got the pork on there, you gotta have guac, obviously. And, I tried to get it on there as delicately as possible. And then this is one of my favorite salsas, and they're actually not selling it at my grocery store anymore, which is really annoying as of this week. But I only had a little left, so I kind of tried to equally disperse it. And then for hot sauce, I love me some Frank's, so I'm putting that on there as well. Then there's that cutting board again. See, I use it all the time. It's so awesome. But I like to do some shredded cabbage sometimes. And that's really good because 1, it gives some nice crunch. 2, it gives beautiful color. And 3, it gives you some more veggies. And then once all that's on there, I just like to finish it off with a little squeeze of lime. And I love citrus. I love sour things. And you can't have too much lime. It really brightens things up and just makes it nice and fresh and gives it a nice little zing at the end. And then you have it all lined up there looking all cute, and they were super delicious. One of my favorite meals ever. So good. Then I got a little more hungry, so I ended up having an orange too to finish things off, and then that was enough for me. Next up is snack, and this is the point where the video doesn't look as good because it's dark outside. What can you do? I did peanut butter and banana because those two are just meant to go together. And then next up was dinner. So for dinner, sometimes a kitty wants to help you out, and I just couldn't resist recording her because she is so cute. But, after some pats, she decided that this was fun, but she had other things she wanted to do. So I went ahead and cut up some potatoes, and then I put those on baking sheets and melted some lard, and I'm pouring the lard over that for the cooking fat. You could use coconut oil, olive oil, bacon fat, whatever you like here. Doesn't really matter. Then I'm doing some paprika, and this is actually a chili powder jar that I put masking tape on and wrote paprika because recycling. So I'm just shaking that on there. I love paprika on the potatoes. And then once that's done, I put on some garlic powder. And you actually can use a lot more of this than you think. You think it'd be super intense, but it's really not, and it goes really nicely with the paprika. And then I like a little cayenne for some heat. Now I will say it looks like I'm putting a lot more on than I actually am because it's only actually coming out every 5 or 6 shakes. I definitely don't want it to be too spicy. And then some salt to finish off the flavors, and then just tossing everything together because I wanted to get all the spices and the oil and everything all evenly coating the potatoes. And once that's done, I like to kind of arrange them like this just to make sure they all have enough room to roast and they're not steaming because they're piled up on top of each other. Probably not totally necessary, but it's what I like to do. So there you go. Then for the veggie, we had collard greens. So I love collards. They're super yummy, and I think they go perfect with this meal. So the first thing I'm doing is cutting out the ribs, and P.S. this knife is awesome. I got it for Christmas, and I love it. So I'll link that if you are interested in checking that out. Super good knife. But once you cut up the leaves, then you kind of pile them up on top of each other like this in a nice little stack. And then you can just roll them up all together and bring your knife in, and this makes it really easy to cut them up. It goes super quick, it's really efficient, makes the whole job a lot easier, and then you end up with these nice, pretty collard green ribbons. So then you gotta wash them because, you know, they're dirty. So I'm putting them in this bowl. This is actually the base of my salad spinner. Rinsed them off, and now I'm spinning off the water to get them nice and dry. Now it's time to cook eggs, because that is the next part of our meal. So I've got some more lard here going into the pan, and this is lard I rendered from the pork that we got in our pig share. Super fun. And then the eggs are going in the pan. Now I'm doing a lot of eggs because this is dinner for me, dinner for Jason, and also enough for him to have leftovers for his lunch for the next day. So then I'm putting on some salt and some pepper, pretty basic stuff. Then I'm going in with my spatula just to break everything up so I don't have one big sheet of eggs. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but it works. Flipping them over so they can get done because I do not like runny yolks. And now it's time to go on the plate, and these two wanted to stick together, so those went for me. I usually have 2, and then for Jason, he usually likes to have 3 eggs for dinner because, you know, he's bigger than me, so he needs more food than I do. And then these last 2 go in a container for him to pack in his lunch for the next day. Now the collards are going in that same pan. And once they're in there, you just add in some salt, and then you can take your tongs and, you know, turn them around, make sure everything's getting cooked, nothing's burning, all of that fun stuff. And you can also turn off the burner here because the pan holds a lot of heat because it's cast iron and the greens cook up quick. Vinegar, of course, because that's basically a must when you have collards. And then those are the finished potatoes. They came out looking crispy and delicious. And oh, what's that? Look, someone already ate one because we can't resist. And that's the finished meal. So I've got eggs with hot sauce, the roasted potatoes, and then the collard greens for a delicious dinner and end to the day.
So that's what I ate on that day. And my hope for this video is that not only it gives you some ideas for different things that you could try for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and all of that stuff, but also that it gives you a nice overview of what I'm eating, someone like me is eating in a typical day, because I know that's something that a lot of people are curious about, like how does all this stuff that I talk about actually come out when it comes to the actual meals. And if that is something that you're interested in seeing more of, then make sure that you're following me on Instagram, because over there I'm always showing my meals all throughout the day, different things that I'm eating. So if you want more consistent ideas and inspiration and a look into what's on my plate, then make sure that you go follow me over there. So that's it for my first What I Eat in a Day video. I hope you liked it, and let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of video as opposed to the videos I've done in the past where I show some of my recent dinners, because they are a little bit different, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you what is most helpful to you. And if you're new to my channel and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and healthy recipes, make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And if you're loving the free info here but you're finding that you need something a little more personalized, don't forget that I do offer one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in that, just let me know and we can get that set up for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.